On this chapter of Bruder on Benefits, let's talk a little bit about ERISA and employee benefits. So many folks use those terms interchangeably, but are they? Not really. When folks talk about employee benefits, they're usually talking about the plans themselves, the arrangements that are providing benefits to the employees, things like group health insurance and retirement plans. But that category is so much broader than that. It can include ancillary benefits like vision coverage and dental coverage. It can include things such as AD&D insurance and life insurance, and even pet insurance falls into the category of employee benefits. So what is ERISA? Well, ERISA is the federal statute that tells us how those plans and arrangements have to be structured. It's a federal law that came into effect in 1974 that was intended to make sure that the benefits that are provided to employees are basically the same no matter where you go. Not the benefits themselves, but the structure of the benefits. So ERISA provides guidance for things like who's eligible for benefits, what benefits can be provided, who do you have to offer benefits to, discrimination testing associated with benefits, and payout of benefits. ERISA compliance is incredibly important when it comes to employee benefit plans, but not all ERISA compliance is the same. The rules associated with things like retirement plans, 401k plans, and pension plans, which are also employee benefits, are incredibly complex. The rules associated with ancillary benefits, things like AD&D insurance and pet insurance and some of your other voluntary benefits, are not as onerous. However, it's important that you understand where ERISA applies and how it applies to a particular arrangement, because the cost associated with failing to comply with ERISA on a retirement plan basis can be significant. Things like having to provide additional benefits to employees, having to include new employees in these arrangements, and dealing with the Internal Revenue Service and the Department of Labor with penalties and interest can be significant for an employer. When we're talking about things like ancillary benefits, sometimes the failure to provide an ancillary benefit to an employee can be easily corrected. However, to figure out how to correct these issues and to figure out what you need to do from an employee benefits perspective, you need to talk to a competent ERISA attorney. So if you have questions about these arrangements, or you have any thoughts about how your arrangements are being administered, feel free to give me a call. Happy to have a conversation associated with your particular employee benefit plans. This has been another chapter of Bruder on Benefits. Thanks for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Hey, it's Charles Bruder. You've probably seen me on Bruder on Benefits. Thanks for tuning in. If you like what you're seeing, do me a favor. Click the thumbs up button down below. In addition, click the bell and be sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel. And if you have some questions or some thoughts, some things you'd like me to cover, leave me a comment below. I'll read all the comments and I'll be happy to include you in a future episode. Thanks again for tuning in. I appreciate your support.